Okay, well, here we are. We laid out our design on the side of the mailbox here after we got done doing all the edging. Uh, let's see on the back of this. I just did some, since it's going to be red, white, and blue, the American flag. I kind of went ahead and colored in some of these pinstripe lines, if you will. As you can see, that's one thing cool with this fine line tape. With doing the edging technique is you can make it look like pinstriping. So anyways, let's get to it's going to be a flame American flag. And let me kind of explain what that is and how I got to this point, masking it off. So basically, the flame here is going to be blue with the white stripes. And then these stripes are going to be your red and white stripes of the flag. So the flame's going to be the stars with the blue background, and then and then the stripes here. So how I did this, first I just laid out the flame how I wanted it with some fine line tape, and then I went ahead and I just used this 1-inch tape and made my lines. First I just laid them all down, one after another, all the way down, and then I marked on here. I started with red, then went white, red, white, red, white, red, white. White's my last one there. And so after I marked it, then you just kind of follow along, and you want to take out just the, cut out where just the stripe red is going to go. So obviously, where the flame is, you're going to cut that there. You're going to cut it here, take that piece off, and then just keep going down that line all the way. Let me kind of turn this so you can see. Okay, there we go. I dropped it there. So just so you can see, so all the way down the line, you'll take that tape out where the red's going to be. And then the next line is going to be our white or the silver metal flake that we did. So that line you're just going to leave alone. Then the next one's red again, so you're going to follow the line down. And anywhere that flame crosses in, you're going to leave tape there. So you're just going to cut out around, where the flame isn't going to be, just on that red stripe. And then you just keep going all the way down till you get to the end. And so then I taped off everything else. I'll probably finish taping off the top here. And then we're going to spray our red candy on here. And then we'll go to the next step after that. The next step after that will be, I'll kind of unmask everything except for the flame, because I still need to do some black edging around the outside of the flame. I'll leave the flame masked off. We'll edge out around the black. We'll edge out in black around the flame edge all the way around. And then what we're going to do is we're going to unmask the flame. Then we're going to mask everywhere off except for the flame. And that's where we're going to, put our, we'll get some stencils cut out on the Cricut maker, some stars. We'll put those where we want them. And that's going to be silver underneath and stay the silver. And then we'll spray our blue candy over the flame, and then that'll pretty much wrap it up for the flag part of this. So we'll be right back. I'll set up and we'll spray the red candy for the stripes. Okay, I'm going to be using, I got a Creos airbrush here, trigger action, with a fan tip on it to give us some nice smooth lines here with the candy paint. So we don't, kind of minimize any kind of tiger striping or anything like that. This kind of works perfect for this job. And then we're just going to do some slow passes, slowly building up the red until it gets to the color we want. You don't want to, pile on the candy on top of each other. You want to kind of slowly build it up. Let it dry pretty decent before you apply back over the top of it. It takes less paint that way and turns out looks better. Okay, we're going to unmask everything except for the flame here. We're going to leave the tape on the flame because we're going to do some black shadowing around the flame. So we're going to leave the tape on the flame and we'll deal with the color on the flame after we do our shadowing. Okay, we're just cutting along, following each line of tape down and just cutting out the outline of the flame. Okay, so we've outlined the flame with black base coat, and now we're going to unmask it and then remask the flame, but the outside edges of the flame, so we can do our blue candy on the flame with the stars. As you can see, we had a little bit of overspray in between the tape lines. We can just clean that up with a little bit of reducer on a rag or some lacquer thinner. Just real lightly, just rub it off. It'll clean right up. Okay, as you can see, I placed the stars I made on the Cricut Maker over top of the flame, and then we're going to spray the blue candy over top of the flame, and then when we're finished, we'll remove the stars, and you'll have the silver stars left on the blue candy. And again, I'm just using the fan pattern on my airbrush. Just applying the blue candy on nice and evenly, slowly building it up to I get the desired blue that I want. And here you see I'm just using some air just to dry up the blue candy I just put down before I do some more passes. This helps keep everything, nice and even as you're spraying the candy. A lot of times if you just try to pile on the candy, it'll turn out, look kind of blotchy. So this way it gives you a lot of control, to slowly build it up, make sure your layer is dry before you go putting on another layer of candy. This also seems to help use less paint for the desired look that you want in the end. Okay, here I'm just going to fix a little problem I had. I didn't mask off part of the tip of the flame here, or unmask it. So I'm just going to kind of remask it off, kind of tape off the area, then, you know, I see there I put the star back on in the spot, and then I'm just going to blend in the blue candy on that tip where I missed that tip there. That's a good thing about custom painting, is you can pretty much usually always fix a mistake one way or another. Okay, now I'm going to use a stencil I made off the Cricut Maker with Harley Davidson lettering. Now just using some black base coat to edge around the lettering. Now spraying this area with orange candy. Okay, well that's wrapping up this video of the, doing metal flake, stars and stripes, and then some Harley Davidson graphics, and the checkered flag graphics on the top. Stay tuned for my next video on this mailbox. We're going to be adding, I'm going to add some yellow to the top section, yellow candy, and then some silver leafing around that edge that goes all the way around. So stay tuned for that video, and I'll see you on the next one.